Welcome, wrestling fans. My name is Joey Styles, and this is the War Room. All right, wrestling fans, this week in the War Room, the one location where we cover all things that are FWF. Let's start with the card that took place this past Sunday. The NXT was in action as they presented their first supercard, TakeOver. And NXT TakeOver lived up to the hype. Two of those matches featured FWF women wrestlers. The fierce U.S. champion Alexa Bliss, in her first title defense, becomes one of the shortest title reigns ever, as she loses that match to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the new fierce U.S. heavyweight champion, and we know there will be a rematch in the near future. Also, regarding the FWF, and more specifically the fierce women's champion, Bayley had a title defense against Sasha Banks in a much anticipated matchup. These two ladies did not disappoint. If you missed this event, the entire thing is available right now. All you've got to do is go to Ustream.com and search for FWF Wrestling, and you can see the entire card in its entirety. As a matter of fact, for this one, that's an exclusive. In a closely contested match, Bayley managed to retain the Fierce Women's Championship. It should be noted that this was the first time in weeks that Bayley was involved in a match that didn't have Stephanie McMahon ringside trying to thwart her efforts. Since we're trying to be completely transparent, it's only fair that we inform everyone that the legal owner of Fierce Wrestling is Stephanie McMahon. When we recently caught up with her and tried to find out why she seems to be targeting the Fierce Women's Champion so vehemently, here is what she said. When we created Fierce, that was what we expected our champion to be. Instead, we have one that represents the Pony and Rainbow Society. If Bayley plans to remain champion, she should know it's going to be a rough road ahead. What we know is that Bayley is scheduled to compete this Thursday night on Fierce, and we don't know is will Stephanie McMahon be involved once again. We'll have to tune in and see what the latest is in the drama between these two women. In other news this Thursday night on Fierce, we will become a step closer to crowning the first ever tag team champions in women's wrestling. We're going to see the team that is now referring to themselves as the Power Trip, which is Cameron and Naomi, as they go up against La Femme Fatale. Then, in the other match, the one that I personally can't wait to see, the Bellas are going up against Vicious and Delicious, and that match is going to be incredible. You can join us live on Ustream at 9 a.m. Thursday, or catch the replays anytime going to Ustream.com and searching for FWF Wrestling. And we'll have our highlights, as usual, right here on this YouTube network. In the Legends Wrestling this past Friday night, we saw the Nation of Domination victorious. In another successful title defense, the team of Ravishing Rick Rude and Andre the Giant, the Heenan family, retained the tag team titles once again, thanks in part to some outside interference by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Once again, you can see all the action from that contest by going to Ustream. And fans, let me tell you right now, if you missed it, it was an absolute classic. Bret the Hitman Hart against the Macho Man Randy Savage, non-title matchup. Bret the Hitman Hart and Savage, after this incredible contest, shaking hands. The only way to see the entire match is once again to visit us on Ustream. And in our main event, the Ultimate Warrior was coming to the ring to settle his score with Sting when he was jumped by Dude Love of all people. No idea what that was all about. Shortly thereafter, it was an all-out attack on the Ultimate Warrior. However, coming to his aid, Mikey Whipwreck and of all people, Jake the Snake Roberts. Hard to say where this one's headed, but at least the Ultimate Warrior knows finally someone's watching his back. Alright, our guest last week on this program was the president himself, Bruno Sammartino, and he said if you turned into Shotgun Saturday night, you were going to find out what fantasy wrestling was all about. He said there was going to be a tag team match that was going to set the stage for the program, and he didn't disappoint. We saw the Ascension enter the arena. What we couldn't believe was when their opponents came out, and it was the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. In a return match from a couple of weeks ago, Ken Shamrock went up against the British Bulldog. Now, you may recall a couple of weeks ago, their match never really counted because Shamrock jumped the Bulldog outside the ring before the bell ever rang, and the referee ended up disqualifying both men. That wasn't going to happen in this one because it was Falls Count anywhere in the arena. It would be Ken Shamrock locking on the submission hold to the British Bulldog, who would have to tap out outside the ring. It was a non-title match when William Regal went head-to-head with the European champion Shawn Michaels. It was a great one, but Shawn Michaels retains the title. However, it was what happened after the match that has people talking. Making an appearance on the stage was Sting, and he made it clear he's coming for Shawn's belt. In a return match for the FWF Tag Team Championship, the former champions, the Asbury Park Assassins, Bam Bam Bigelow and Diamond Dallas Page, went up against the Hollywood Blondes. It was a match that was a Texas Tornado elimination tag match. As promised, every Saturday's a pay-per-view. The tag team champions are still the Hollywood Blondes. You can see all of that action on the FWF channel. And finally, in the main event, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, the FWF World Heavyweight Champion, going one-on-one with Cactus Jack. Stone Cold Steve Austin would come out victorious, and after the match, extended a hand as a show of respect, only to have it slapped away by Cactus. We have not heard the last from these two men. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if you were watching, you heard the news. Well, you heard the teaser. Here's where you get the news. In 2 weeks' time, that's 1 week from this coming Saturday, Shotgun Saturday Night, for one night only, will be taken over by Paul Heyman. That's right, the president himself, Bruno Sammartino, has given Paul Heyman free ride for one Saturday night to pay tribute to the extreme brand of wrestling that has changed the face of the industry. And we will have a November to remember. All I can say is, oh my God.